Welcome, listeners, to the Hospitality Harbor, your go to podcast for exploring the vibrant and often unpredictable world of the hospitality industry. Each episode will bring you inspiring interviews with industry leaders, practical advice from seasonal professionals, and thought provoking discussion about the latest trends, challenges, and motivation and innovation that are shaping the future of hospitality. And today, we are focused on a significant and timely topic that is affecting all corners of our economy. The challenge that the hospitality sector is grappling with due to inflation and the imposition of tariffs. As we navigate this discussion, we invite you to subscribe and share our content with a fellow hospitality enthusiast. Buckle up as we dive into an in-depth exploration of how tariffs are impacting your everyday costs, particularly in the restaurant industry. Over the past few years, we've witnessed a chain of events from the ongoing fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic to the relentless pressures of inflation, and now the steep increase in the cost of everyday essentials, including groceries, mobile devices, and vehicles. However, it's becoming increasingly clear that these rising costs cannot be attributed solely to broad inflationary trends or the escalating cost of living. Instead, many restaurants are facing a severe financial stress, or in some unfortunate cases, outright closure as direct consequences of these high living expenses and inflationary pressures, with tariffs playing a notable role in this equation. As President Donald Trump famously claimed, tariffs are the most beautiful words in the dictionary. Let's unpack what this really means and the implication it has on our economic and dining experiences. To clarify, a tariff is essentially a tax imposed by a government on imported goods. When a country imposes tariffs on foreign products, it leads to increase prices for those goods. These additional costs do not simply disappear. Rather, they are often passed down to businesses, owners, and ultimately transferred to consumers. For those of us who enjoy dining out, this results in inflated prices for food, seafood, meats, produce, and specialty ingredients. The cascading effect can lead to higher menu prices at restaurants, forcing customers, many of whom are already grappling with inflation and rising living costs, to consider the dining options and potentially dining out less frequently. The ramification that tariffs have often on the various dimensions of the restaurant business, taking into account the policies from Trump administration, which impose considerable 25% tariffs on numerous imports from Canada, Mexico, and China. We're looking at a particularly poignant example. In fact, Mexico emerged as a critical player in the U.S. Horticultural import landscape, supplying approximately 63% of the vegetables and 47% of the fruits and nuts that we rely on year-round. The direct impact of tariff is acutely felt in ingredient pricing. Many restaurants rely heavily on imported food that becoming significantly pricier when tariffs are imposed. For an example, in 2022 alone, the price of avocado skyrocketed, doubling from approximately $1.75 to over $2.50 each, due to a combination of supply chain issues, surging demand, and trade disruptions. This is particularly relevant for many of us who have witnessed firsthand the evolving price of ingredients. Just a few years ago, I paid around $100 for a bulk of order of avocados, only to find those costs steadily climbing ever since. It's not just food costs that are escalating. Operational expenses across the board are on the rise. The financial burden of kitchen equipment, packaging materials, and various supplies continue to mount. Prices for kitchen appliances, restaurant furnishing, and essential packaging materials are projected to rise, impacting not only operational efficiency, but also squeezing profit margins that are already perilously thin. For many restaurants, delicately balancing on the act of menu pricing while retaining customers is crucial. Raising prices to accommodate rising costs can be a risky proposition, as it may drive away patrons who may opt for more affordable dining alternative. This tug of war challenges restaurant owners as they navigate the fine line between necessary price increase and maintaining beloved customers' relationships. Tariffs can exacerbate existing supply chain challenge, complicating the process for restaurant to secure key ingredients on time. In many instances, businesses may need to adjust the menu or seek out new suppliers, which can raise operational costs and alter the overall dining experience. As tariffs proliferate, contributing to rising inflation and higher living costs, the net result is reduction in consumer spending on dining out, which directly impact the revenue and profit margins for restaurants. As menu prices rise in response to these increased costs, patrons often turn to more economical dining options or choose to eat at home more frequently, which can further exacerbate the financial strain on local restaurants. It is vital to highlight that the restaurant industry traditionally operates on a markedly low profit margins, generally ranging from 0 to 15%, with an average hovering between 3 to 5%. This scenario is well understood by the industry professionals. Trends indicate that profit margins for restaurants have been steadily declining over recent years, with inflation and escalating living expenses exacerbating the challenge. As the cost of imported goods rise, many restaurants find it increasingly difficult to maintain profitability, ultimately putting their long-term viability into jeopardy and increasing the likelihood of closures. Full-service restaurants, for an example, typically face lower profit margins when juxtaposed with fast casual establishments, primarily due to heightened labor costs. In contrast, larger chains often manage to maintain comparatively higher profit margins than their smaller counterparts. The innate price for menu items directly impacts these eating establishments' profit margins, while faster table turnover rates can serve to enhance profitability. To put this into perspective, let's consider how tariffs can reshape profit margins for other sectors. Imagine a company that imports, smartphones from China, facing a 25% tariffs on its products. This tariff fundamentally transforms its pricing model. A smartphone that may have originally cost $1,000 could now retail for $1,250. That's a big jump. This substantial price hike mirrors the situation faced by the food and hospitality industry, as tariffs on commodities like steel and aluminum have hit manufacturers, causing them to increase prices for cars, appliances, and canned goods. In response, companies such as Ford and GM have had to grapple with these heightened costs, leading them to adjust accordingly. The repercussions of tariffs on the food and agricultural sectors resonate beyond just restaurant and local businesses. These tariffs have also led to heightened supermarket prices for essential items, including dairy, meat, and various imported products. With tariffs applied, prices for imported foodstuffs like cheese, wine, and orange juice also sees rise, affecting not just large corporations but also hitting consumers hard in their grocery budgets. In light of this mounting challenge, how can restaurants effectively navigate the complexity introduced by the current tariff landscape? Here are a few measures that can help. One, effective way forward is to shift sourcing strategies toward local suppliers to reduce reliance on imported goods, such as to tariffs. This may also involve experimenting with substitute for certain ingredients to a lower cost. Restaurants may want to adjust their menu offering, focusing on high margin items while thoughtfully considering portion sizes. Seasonal menus featuring local produce not only help bring down the cost, but can also engage customers in new, exciting ways. The implementation of dynamic pricing strategies can further optimize profit margins. Improving inventory management can serve to reduce food waste, while investing in energy efficient appliances can contribute to lowering utility costs, promoting overall operational efficiency and financial health. Expanding services into catering, meal kits, takeout, and delivery options can yield additional revenue opportunities. Implementing customer loyalty program can further drive engagement and sales. Effective communication with customers regarding price increase driven by tariffs can foster understanding and support for local businesses, helping patrons feel invested in the challenge faces by their favorite eateries. The integration of digital ordering systems, AI-driven tools for inventory management, and intelligent pricing software can streamline operation and bolster profitability. Although tariffs often have a reputation for creating adverse effects across various sectors, it's imperative to recognize that the outcomes are not uniformly negative. While some industry may see short-term benefits from productive tariffs, the overreaching economic consequences can be severe, resulting in slower growth, increasing consumer prices, and straining international relations. The complexity of tariffs and their implication can vary greatly depending on the specific context in which they are applied. For instance, while U.S. steel manufacturers may have benefited from tariffs, other industries dependent on steel, such as automotive and construction, have confronted escalate costs and potentially job losses. While tariffs may initially seem like an issue only affecting businesses, they ultimately have profound influence on the prices that consumer encounters daily. As we reflect on the ramification of tariffs on local industry and everyday consumer prices, we invite you to share your thought. and insight. Do you believe that government should implement the tariffs to support domestic sectors, even with the trade-offs of higher consumer prices? I genuinely want to hear your perspective. So please engage with us in the comment section. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking insight on how global economic dynamic and policies affect your daily lives in the world of hospitality. As always, keeping it clean and sexy.